Speak until the dust settles in the same specific place. I'd refuse to go. Drink it from a cast and iron blade instead of cold milk.
Tonight, the Focus on Ability film competition screening goes global. We included an international section for 2014 and were thrilled to receive entries from all around the world. The first we'd like to show you is from the United States. Here is Raj Bandari's Feels Like.
你好，我的名字是 Anthony Vasquez， 我是个记者，我也很喜欢旅游。That means, hello, my name is Anthony Vasquez. I'm a journalist and I like to travel. Yeah, good. 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters. Is that it? Oh shit, is that it? Oh my god, there it is. Don't go beyond that. Oh, it's right there anyway. Okay. A long ass train. Alright. I aspire to be a journalist, to report on important issues, be they national issues, international issues. I've been studying Chinese for a long time, and it's helped me get to that point where I can apply to a job and feel confident. Okay, hit by train, that would be bad. Okay, let it go, let it go, let it go. Set places. Yes. Okay. A new environment is, I guess, an added thing for me. I mean, anybody in a new city is going to feel a little lost. For me, it's, I think, more because I can't see what's going on. Okay. Feel the breeze. That's important. Where the hell am I going? Okay. Right now. And to my knowledge, I'm the first visually impaired American to be studying Mandarin academically. People can see that you're blind with this cane. With me, you don't really need to see the cane, but some people, you know, their eyes aren't any different, so this cane is a marker. Okay, don't hit the kid, don't hit the kid. Could be bad. Okay. And I'm looking for a bakery. Maybe that's it. I don't know what this is, but I'll find out what this is here. That's 5 or 10. Yeah. Just gave her a $5 bill. I tend to keep my bills in certain parts of my wallet based on how much they are. Now the hurdles are being taken seriously, you know, finding that job like every other aspiring media professional. Okay, when I was in Taiwan, I got an email about a program by, that was going to be jointly ran by Stanford and the State Department. And it was to be like a liaison to the delegations of a summit in San Francisco. And so I applied because I thought, hey, this is kind of cool. I get to see how diplomacy works. And I got it. I got the email, congratulations, you will be a liaison in San Francisco. You will be assigned to the Mexican delegation. Like, that's cool, you know, because I speak Spanish. And then I also sent them a note, you know, that I will need accommodations as a visually impaired person, maybe. And then the Monday of, I got a call. You as a blind person, I don't think we're going to be able to accommodate your needs. We don't have other people who can help you. And I mean, she told me not to show up. And the opportunity was taken away. And yeah, they got me. They got me because, you know, I've been turned down for things before because I'm not qualified or my grades aren't high enough or I'm not creative enough, but not for being blind. And to be told that, yeah, it was surprising. I just wasn't used to it. Maybe I still feel like I'm making progress towards getting some kind of a job. I was thinking, you know, if maybe not breaking news, you know, maybe something to do with editing, not just like audio editing, but actually like editing news stories, assigning stories to reporters, because then it's like I get to travel once in a while for the job, but maybe primarily I would be assigning stories, sending reporters out. I do imagine myself having my own place to live, having my own bedroom, having my own desk. I would want a bookshelf. I have tons of books, Braille and print, and I want to put them in one place instead of having them scattered in like 5 boxes. And unless I want to live in a very, you know, a low income adjusted place, you know, low-income housing or whatever, I'm gonna have to get a job for that. 你们是游客吗？
Yeah， 我们是从洛杉矶来的。
从哪里？我听不见了，对不起。
洛杉矶。
哦，洛杉矶。哦 OK。塞翁失马，焉知非福。And the little translation is like, old man loses horse, who knows what fate has in store. And the idea is kind of like, we lose things, opportunities don't turn out the way we want, but that's not the end of it. Like, who knows what happens next? Maybe if I had taken an opportunity, something terrible would happen afterwards. So, yeah, that's actually my favorite Chinese saying. That's a good one.
This year's international entries were received in a wide array of languages, with a very strong African contingent. The next film's from Rwanda, but we must warn viewers that this film contains adult themes. Here is Richard Magwaneza's Ability, Women Speak Out.
Nitwa Maria Odesi, mfite imyaka 19.
Nitwa Mukarukundo Donatira, imyaka 45.
Nitwa Karigirwa Antoinette, abafite imyaka 57.
Jaye narizingera mu gatatu segonderi, naje kugirinda, maze kugirinda famille irantererana.
Mvuka nta bumuga mfite, ngira imyaka 17. Niho naje kugira guhura n'ikibazo cy'ihohoterwa.
Ishuri ryacu twageze dutya tubona abazungu babiri baraje, ntitwari tuzi aho baturutse. Bati tuje gutera urukingo rw'imbasa.
Ndi mu modoka muri Jago ndimo kuza Rwanda, cyagwiza kutugwisha tukora impanuka, bamwe muri twe barapfa, njyewe urutirgongo ruracika, igice cyepfo cyose kiba paralize.
Ngo nyuma yaho rero aho duhungukiye ku 15 z'ukwa karindwi, niho nagiye gusarura amasaka ndi kumwe na mama wanjye, maze gusarura ntangiye kwikora nibwo nabonye ko nahumye. Ibyo bintu narabibanye, namanutse nshakisha ikirenge, ngera mu rugo ntura amasaka, sinongeye kugera hanze ukundi. Namaze imyaka 3 ntarakira ubuhumyi.
Badutera urukingo rw'imbasa, twari abana 27. Ubwo 26 bose tuba abamugaye, ariko nari mugaye akaguru kamwe, ariko uko bagenda bamvuza ko nakandi kagiye gafatwa.
Iyo ngeze muri societe kenshi abantu bakandeba, nkumva bangiriye impuhwe, nanjye nkumva hari icyo bimpa, icyo kwizera yuko ndi kumwe n'abantu. Ubwo noneho hari n'abandi bambona bakumva yenda ngomba nko kugira icyo nsaba, bakumva ko ngomba no gusaba, ariko njyewe nkumva ntagomba gusaba kuko mbayeho mu buzima bwiza.
Nyimara kumenya ko nanduye, naragenda bivuga mu bwo kuko numvaga nta rwikekwe mfite kuko nzi ko ntayihamagariye. Bitamenya ko nabyaye kwa bwawuhumye nabutiwe na BH.
Ubwo ishuri baryahagaze, abandi bana bakajya bajya ku ishuri, nge nkasigara mu rugo. Ariko bikambabaza cyane kuko nakundaga ishuri. Ariko aho hantu twaje kuhimuka, twimukira ahandi. Papa akajya agerageza kunjyana ku ishuri, ariko nyuma y'aho ngaho nza kubona umuntu nkunda utushingana. Ababyeyi be, umuryango we mwigeze wishimira ko umwana wabo yashyingirwa umuntu umugaye. Bati uriya uramushaka, azakumarira iki, muzabana mute, bizagenda gute, azagukorera iki? Nuko turabana, tubanye, tubyarana nabo bana n'ababyeyi 3.
hari igihe nageraga kuba muganga abandi barwayi bakavuga ngo ariko se ngo ahemukire iriya mpumyi we ninde gusa kuri iriya mpumyi bayihohoteye ngo barayihemukiye noneho abandi batereka bataho abandi bayandurira se we ntahafite kandi ibyo byose bakabivuga bazi ko ngewe ntabasha kubyumva kuko ngewe mbese utabona abatanumva haratumva ibyo bamuvuga.
Ngeze hano nza kubona hari imyuga bagenda bigisha nanjye nshobora kwiga umwuga wo kudoda. Iyo mbonye nshobora kudoda icyo umwana wanjye yambara numva bishimishije.
Nifuriza abamugaye b'Abanyarwanda nifuza ko bakwiga.
Nubwo nanduye ntabwo bivuga ko napfuye. Nanjye ngambiriye ko muri abo bana b'imfubyi mfite ndera ndetse nabo umutware bose bazakura kandi bakayiga. Icyo tugambiriye ntabwo tugambiriye ko bazabaho nk'abana b'ubumuga nk'uko babyita.
Numva ko azakomeza akiga akarangiza kandi nanjye tukazabana kandi ndizera yuko ntazaguma hano muri Marembo, hari igihe nzava hano nkanitunga nkanatunga n'umwana wanjye.
23 international entries were received from 13 different countries, each one showing how, despite hardship and struggle, people's determination to succeed can overcome barriers associated with disability. Nova Employment will always advocate for the ability of people with disability, and by developing our international section we're building a really powerful platform. Our next film's from the United States. Here is Brittany Leibarger's Looking Up, Sammy Stoner and Chloe.
When we became aware that it wasn't a passing problem with Sammy's eyes, that was a pretty bad day. We then had a whole bunch of different hopes. We wanted her to do the best that she could with everything.
My name is Sammy Stoner. I'm 19 and I'm from Lexington, Ohio. I have Stargardt's disease. It's a macular degeneration that happens in kids. For the most part, it mainly affects your central vision. The peripheral is pretty much fine. It's just concentrated in the center. So faces look blurry. Type on pages has to be a little bit larger.
The internet's a wonderful thing and a terrible thing. As we started to narrow down the diagnoses, there wasn't a really good outcome, and Stargardt's was probably
actually
one of the ones that we feared the most, I think. Once it bottomed out, once her vision bottomed out, it would never get worse. But without any real treatment options, that would never get better either.
Stargardt's disease has affected me a lot through both school and everyday life. It makes running a lot harder for when you can't see the roots on the ground and cracks in the sidewalks and things like that. I ran 1 year in junior high and then all through high school, and I've continued running since. I really did want to continue running after I was diagnosed. It was one of those things where it just helped me kind of just free my mind, and it was something that I could do that kind of helped me continue to feel normal when everything else was kind of up in the air. So it kind of grounded the entire sense that I could just kind of be more independent.
We never thought that we always thought guide dogs were for totally blind individuals. Never even crossed my mind that, she could have one. And then when she worked with the mobility specialist, and he was the one that suggested it, and she thought it was a wonderful idea, but and she probably would have had one sooner if she was allowed, but you have to be 16 because you actually have to stay down there and train for a month.
When I ran with Chloe for the first time, it was very, very exciting. She just got so excited. She kind of lost all her idea of training. It took her a little while to get used to kind of running and working at the same time, but she was just so excited to be there and do it. it was so nice to be able to share that passion that I have for running with her. The OHSAA had a few rules against animals competing in sports. We kind of approached them with our athletic director and kind of asked, how we could get around that, because we initially didn't think there would be a problem with it. And after a few no and going back and no and going back, they came up with a list of stipulations, like starting 30 seconds behind everyone else, so Chloe doesn't impede other runners and no other runners can impede Chloe as well. So we found those stipulations and they decided to give us a chance. And we actually got approved the night before the race. I had broken my personal best time while running with Chloe, and it was a great feeling. I think we were both just so excited to be out there and be able to run. It's just a great feeling knowing that she's your second half. She's an incredible dog. The biggest lesson I've learned is to just never give up. There's almost always a way to get where you want to be and do what you want to do. Sometimes you just have to kind of go about a different way of finding it.
And now we have a South African entrant, Buleleni Mvoto's Parallel Dreams.
I'm a paraplegic. I have been having my paraplegic for the past 5 years now. I was actually blind before I actually became a paraplegic for a period of 1 year and 2 months. Due to physical abuse at the time, the doctor said it was permanently, but as time went, I was able to see again. I have actually tried to commit suicide 3 times because I couldn't deal with the fact that I couldn't walk. With my family, it wasn't really very easy accepting my disability, which honestly from another side, it's still not. It's very difficult. It got to my point where my dad also got sick and he had a stroke because he couldn't accept the fact that I couldn't walk anymore. With my son, it was very difficult because to him, he had to adjust to seeing his mom obviously in a different version of what he normally is used to. So that was kind of a very challenging thing because we also had to get to the point where I had to take him to counseling sessions.
My name is George Mwangi Siamtanda Zenzi. I'm Mama India Christabella son, my father's William. My mother's disabled. She's on a wheelchair. She started being disabled, I think now it's for 3 years, 4 years. But I was still a young child. But when my mother got disabled, I used to stay with my grandfather. But after that, I had to go stay with my father while we still didn't have any money. My father had issues of giving me money and stuff. Disability is fine, but sometimes it's a really struggle for us because like cleaning, going to work, I have to take her almost every day. And her helping herself in the bed and stuff. I'm in grade 8. I just started high school this year. I used to go primary in Cape Town. The school fees, it's very, very big, but my mother's trying to give me all the best that I can have. I sometimes struggle because of me going up and down transport. Sometimes when my mother's transporting disabilities, and the taxi rank, people argue almost every day about wheelchairs and stuff like that. It does sometimes affect me at schoolwork because it doesn't feel comfortable knowing that other people's parents are well, and people start making fun of my parents just because they're disabled.
It actually took me about almost a year and a half for me to get to the point where I said, okay, this is where it stops. This is where I take control of my life. And not look at myself as a disabled person, but with a person living with a disability. Being disabled was a no-no at the time, but as time went, I had to do counseling. As a result, I actually got to a point where I actually had to start playing sports as in a way of actually recovering and getting back. I guess sports to me became a way of coping with life, which I guess it also got to a point where I really enjoyed it and I actually wanted to focus on it full time, which, as I said, currently I'm playing wheelchair racing, I'm playing wheelchair basketball, and I'm playing wheelchair tennis currently. It's my pride and it's what keeps me going.
Thank you for joining us for the international episode of Focus on Ability. If you have any overseas friends that might be interested, more details at focusonability.com. To find out more about the 2015 Australian competition, focusonability.com.au. See you soon.